Segueing from Star Wars to Disney in general, the Walt Disney Company has made rounds in recent months with their acquisition of 20th Century Fox, obtaining rights to Avatar, the previous Star Wars installments, as well as titles like X-Men, Deadpool, Alien, and the Predator films. Looking at 2017's box office totals, Disney and 20th Century Fox make up approximately 40% of the total business, which begs the question of whether or not Disney has become a monopoly in the industry.
Disney is probably the biggest entity inside of movies, inside of theme parks, inside of merchandise that we are going to see. So what we're looking at is it's definitely an empire. Is it a monopoly? A monopoly is the overall cornering of a market. Can no one else get in that's new? And I think that the movie industry anyways, and this is my opinion, always had a hard time pushing through indies that were not backed by some kind of bigger company. WB, Sony, Disney, those big companies anyways, you didn't get a lot of screen time. And if you did, then it was a global movie that had a lot of acclaim, but they didn't sneak through a lot. So now everything in that sense is Disney is buying every single one of these and making it their own.
It's not changing the material, but it's like changing who has ownership. And I actually did look just to see how the other industries in the world work out. Like, for instance, the soda industry. In 2015, Coca-Cola accounted for 42.5% of market share. And something like Google. Google owns 67% of the web search market. Microsoft owns 75% of personal computer market share. And Facebook is like 3 times as big as Twitter. So it doesn't necessarily work to show that Disney doesn't have a monopoly, but it goes to show that this is not anything we haven't seen in other markets as well.
I guess I have 2 things. So one is that you said that they're not really changing the product. I definitely do not agree with they're not changing the product.
What I meant to say is with certain things, like with a independent thing, what we haven't gotten a chance to see with Disney's acquiring of 20th Century Fox. So far, it looks as though they're going to continue forth with, like, Deadpool. Like, a lot of people were worried that it was going to become a PG product. And it looks as though they are going to maintain those elements with Deadpool.
I guess what I worry about is overall quality of the movies. Are they going to be more Disney-like? See, what I'm thinking is that everything in Disney, and it has its good sense, because I do like, the Marvel series, and I do like a lot of the Disney Pixar movies and things like that, but they have their certain formula, and you can see that. And now you see Marvel Universe leaking over in the Star Wars universe, and if you can't see the similarities in that after watching that, then you're just blind, because what it is that they have this silly little stupid comedy, which is fine, but they're turning Star Wars into their own version of Guardians of the Galaxy at the beginning, where Poe is having that conversation.
You because on note you said that the Guardians was a better
Star Wars, and I agree with that, but I don't think that every movie should follow that same basic formula, and I think that's what Disney does.
So you're worried that they're going to, because of them acquiring these things,
dumb it down.
Yeah.
And so that is one of the things. And another thing is that I was thinking about is you were talking about places like Google and places like some of the other ones that you said,
like Coca-Cola.
And those are huge companies, but they have somebody to compete with. I don't know what the stock on Pepsi is, but I'm pretty sure that it's probably pretty close. So if you look at Coke and you compare it to Pepsi, I'm pretty sure we're going to have a slice of the market that's just huge between those two. And I don't know what Pepsi is, but that's huge between those two. The next one that was Google is cornering that market, but the next one down, I bet you, is Bing. And while Bing is not very big, it's a name. It's a name recognition. What is the next name recognition we have after we think of Disney cornering the market?
If we're talking strictly about the movie industry, the next up is, well, Warner Brothers this year has had a very good year. I would say probably the second biggest besides Disney would be Universal. And Universal at times can be an absolute empire whenever they have Jurassic World, whenever they have Fast and the Furious.
Coasting off making how many? You said that they made over 30 more movies.
No, that was
Disney,
Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers made like 30 more movies, but Universal in the past, it's not because they make so many movies, but because they had so many juggernauts in previous years. But Warner Brothers definitely, yes, they put out more movies than Disney by far.
So what we're looking at is that it is a monopoly in the sense that a lot of other small companies are in the movie market and they make up that brand. But if you take Coke and compare it to Pepsi, there's two clashing units. You compare Google to Bing, Google stomps it, but we at least have that, or Yahoo. And we at least have some other name recognition.
Yeah, but we have it with Disney. We also have against Disney. We do have Universal. We do have Warner Brothers. We do have.
But when
these.
you talk about,
and they're just as powerful as the as like Bing would be to Google or and so on. It's just as worthy of a combatant, I think.
We're going to continue this conversation on our new website. Which Nick, go ahead and give them the link to that website whenever it's going to start up within the next week or so. We're gonna we can put some blogs on there about Disney being a monopoly or cornering the empire. Show some kind of dialogue with that, and you guys can join in down in the comments below. Like, subscribe, and comment to this video. And thanks for listening to Mishmash Podcast.